It started innocently enough, or at least, that's how she framed it. One Friday evening, my wife, Emma, returned home from a girls' night out, giggling like a teenager. I had no idea what awaited me, but I could sense a secret she was eager to share. "You won't believe what happened tonight," she said, dropping her purse on the couch. I smiled, expecting a funny story about her friends or a quirky incident at the restaurant. "Okay, tell me," I said, pouring us both a glass of wine. "Well," she began, her eyes sparkling with mischief, "my friends dared me to flirt with someone. Just for fun. To, test our marriage." I blinked. Flirt? With someone? My tone was light, but a knot of unease had already formed in my stomach. "Yes," she laughed, brushing it off as though it were completely harmless. "It's silly, I know. But they said it would be hilarious, and I couldn't back down." I took a sip of my wine, trying to mask the uneasiness that crept in. Well, I tried, she admitted, biting her lip. I even approached a guy at the bar. But I failed. "Failed?" I asked, intrigued. "Yes," she said, shaking her head with exaggerated frustration. "I couldn't do it. I opened my mouth, and I just couldn't say a word. My heart was racing, and I felt weird. Totally unnatural. I couldn't help but laugh." "So, your friends dared you to flirt with someone, and you froze?" Emma groaned dramatically. "Exactly. By the second attempt, I gave up. I went back to my friends and told them I couldn't do it. They laughed, of course, but I felt embarrassed. Mostly at myself." I set my glass down and reached for hers. "Emma, do you realize what this shows?" She tilted her head, unsure. "It shows that your heart is here. That you're loyal, that you care about us," I said gently. "You didn't need to succeed or fail at their silly game. You didn't even entertain the idea seriously, because your marriage, our marriage, matters more to you than a dare." She looked at me, a mixture of relief and pride in her eyes. "Really?" she asked softly. "Really?" I replied. "I can't believe your friends thought a dare like that would reveal anything. You didn't need to prove anything. Loyalty isn't something you test with strangers. It's something you live every day. And you just lived it perfectly." The next day, she recounted the story to her friends again, this time with me listening from the couch. I watched her explain how she had tried and failed. Her friends laughed, as expected, but there was a new tone in her voice. Confidence, calm, and a hint of triumph. She wasn't embarrassed anymore. She was proud that she hadn't compromised herself. Over the next few weeks, the story became a private joke between us. Whenever one of us felt unsure about the other's commitment, we'd mention the flirting dare and laugh. But more than that, it reminded us that our connection didn't need external validation. No challenge, no game, no dare could test the bond we had built over years of trust, respect, and shared memories. It also gave me insight into human nature, how people sometimes create tests, not out of malice, but out of curiosity. They want proof of love, loyalty, or fidelity, even though such things aren't measured in dares or games. Real proof comes in the everyday choices, the kindness we show each other, the honesty we maintain, and the effort we put into nurturing a relationship. One evening, while we sat on the balcony watching the city lights flicker in the distance, Emma reached over and took my hand. "I'm glad I failed that dare," she said quietly. I smiled. "So am I." She leaned her head against my shoulder. "I think sometimes people try to make life complicated with games and challenges. But the real test isn't in dares, it's in our everyday lives. And I'd like to think we pass it every day." I nodded. "Absolutely. And next time someone dares you to flirt with a stranger, maybe just dare them to spend an evening with us instead. That'll be enough of a challenge." We laughed, the tension from that night long gone. The dare had come and gone, but it left behind something far more meaningful. A reminder that love doesn't need testing, that trust can't be measured in games, and that some failures, like hers, are actually victories. By the time the city lights dimmed and the night settled around us, I realized that the dare wasn't meant to test her, it was meant to remind us both what mattered most. And in that quiet, unspoken moment, I felt grateful that we had passed life's real tests, together.